Hello everybody, it's your ghoul, Pony, and today I'm going to be kickstarting a new series titled Who Is? The point of this series is to be semi-short, hopefully, videos giving a look at who exactly various Monster High characters are. I'm going to be starting out with characters who are not part of the main cast, as I know that you all already know who Frankie Stein is. Though eventually I would like to cover everybody, but I can't make any promises yet. We will see what happens. Whether you're new or old to the franchise, hopefully this series will refresh your memory on some of the spooktacular student bodies that stalk the halls of Monster High. So, who exactly is our first subject? Finnegan Wake. Finnegan was introduced in 2013 in the webisode Ready, Wheeling, and Able. He makes quite the entrance into the franchise here, as right off the bat it is clear that this man is an absolute scaredevil and possibly even a Chad? In this webisode, his name is introduced as Ryder, but this would later be changed to Finnegan Wake. Throughout the story, we see Finn racing throughout the halls, even across the sides of the lockers. The ghouls who are meant to welcome him to Monster High are all shocked and become rather overprotective of him once they realize that he is a wheelchair user. The ghouls all try to keep him away from any activity that they believe is too much for him. Finnegan is bored and frustrated by these mundane activities, and quickly ditches the ghouls. When they go to look for him, Toralei reveals that she told him about the Skulltimate roller maze track in the catacombs. When the ghouls arrive at the track, they find Claude watching as Finnegan has the time of his unlife racing along the obstacles. The ghouls tell Claude that he shouldn't be letting him do something so dangerous, but Claude reminds them that not that long ago, ghouls were told the same about being on the Skulltimate roller maze team, and proves once again that he is not a dumb jock with the line,
"Maybe he knows what he can or can't do better than any of us."
Finnegan then crashes into the ground, worrying the ghouls, and they ask him if he's okay. He replies, "Okay, that was totally spinsane! I'm going to do it again!" and gets back into his chair. He tells the ghouls that this is who he is, and he promises he'll tell them if he needs any help. The webisode ends with him telling them that he does actually need help with something, and he proceeds to ask them to set his wheels on fire. After this webisode, it was clear that Finnegan had made a splash as a character who lived for thrill and would not let any bloody stop him. On September 2nd, 2014, Finnegan was featured in a doll election held on Monster High's website. This election was a spiritual successor to the 2011 Comic-Con doll election, which later resulted in 2012's Comic-Con doll. This time, though, the winning doll would not be a Comic-Con exclusive, but a Mattel Store exclusive in the US, though he was available on shelves in Europe. The voting options were between Finnegan Wake, Gory Fangtel, and Quill Talentino. Each character had a fair share of fans, but eventually Finnegan took the crown. Shortly after, voting for different aspects of his profile would begin, and his doll would be produced in 2015. So, sorry for the change in audio, but I wanted to, for the characters that I can, show you all what their doll looks like in real life, as opposed to just relying on stock photos. I'm not going to be able to do this for all the characters because I don't have all of them, but I did get this Finnegan as a gift from my lovely friend Hezekiah's Dollhouse on Instagram. I wanted to show you some of the details of him. So firstly, here's an overview. You can see his awesome tattoos. I really like them. You can see he has them on both arms, one on his bicep and one on his lower arm. He has painted on gloves, fingerless gloves, the racing shirt with the number 1 on it. He has a mohawk, which I love. I think his mohawk is so much fun. And these goggles that make him look very silly when you actually put them on his face. But of course, you know, when you're going fast, you need to protect your eyes. He has a backpack on the back of his chair that he can open, put things in. And then his chair has 4 wheels, 2 larger wheels, and 2 smaller ones. I believe these are caster wheels down here at the bottom. And a decal on the bottom of it. I believe that his body mold is Manny Tar's body mold, but scaled down. They have a more muscular body shape than the normal Monster High guys. And his tail is a brand new mold from what I am aware. It does not look like the Create-A-Monster mold. If I remember, the Create-A-Monster mold was not articulated. His face is also a brand new face mold. Let me get you a good shot of his face. There's not a ton going on with it. He's bald except for his mohawk. It's just very clean and simple. There he is. There's the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah. Like most of the Monster High characters, Finnegan Wake's doll included a diary. This booklet features Finn's everyday life, with events such as him getting detention for using the drained school pool as a skate park. He then goes to the coffin bean and the beach and has a major crush on Gigi Grant, and totally impresses a kid at physical therapy with how rad his tattoos are. He also, with the help of Wydonna and Gulia, makes temporary tattoos that look like his for said kid, whose name is River, to show him how proud he is of him for getting so far with his physical therapy. By the end of his diary, Finnegan and Gigi have begun fanging out a lot, and it's clear that both of them like each other. Finnegan states that he doesn't know if that means they're officially dating, but he knows for sure that he doesn't want to roll with anybody else. After the release of his doll, Finnegan wasn't featured in too much. By the time that he released, although we didn't know it, the series was quickly heading towards its reboot, in which most of the previously introduced characters would just not exist. He did pop up in a few Volume 6 webisodes, such as Freak Do Chic's Act 2 and 3 and Decomposition Class. The latter of these, maybe unintentionally, maybe on purpose, served as almost a send-off to the webisode format and series as a whole, as it features various students making a video explaining why they love MH so much. This, along with the fact that this is the last webisode in the first generation, really makes it feel like the team working on it knew that this would be the end. Despite the fact that he, much like other lately introduced characters, didn't get much screen time, Finnegan proved himself to be a really fun character. He may not have had as many ties to the deep lore of the franchise as some others, but his fantastic personality really made him shine. There are a few pieces of extra information about Finnegan that didn't quite fit into the other sections, but are fantastic facts, including that he and Rebecca Steam are friends who enjoy discussing their scaredevil tendencies. Finnegan and her even began discussing finding a way to make his chair rocket-powered, like her boots. He was also one of the characters confirmed to not be straight, as when asked about it, Garrett Sanders stated that he remembered that they didn't want him to be, and while he couldn't remember exactly the label, he may have been pan. Finnegan is also not just in a wheelchair due to being a mermaid. His tail does not function. His name may be based off of the novel Finnegan's Wake or the Irish ballad of the same name. He also technically has two different profiles, one of which was published with his doll, and the other one that was on the website momentarily. Finnegan does cardio, would like to go skydiving, and canonically says, "Yeehaw!" the last of which I find personally hilarious. Now that you have all of the delightful details about Finnegan, let me know who you'd like me to cover next in this series. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts below, and if you have any unanswered questions about this memorable manster, I will do my best to answer them. So with that, I will sign off and tell you all, have a fantastic day.